Welcome to Real as Possible, where two sisters keep it real with hilarious stories from our childhood and honest conversations about faith, life, and everything in between.
Hello, and on the last podcast,
Right.
we're still in the
change
same
our clothes.
Nah, bro.
We like to wear our clothes twice.
I have since showered.
Full disclosure.
Well, let's update ourselves.
Last episode and this episode recorded
So-
on the same night.
The last episode, part 1, is about Honor Academy, and our three friends here, Carly, Joe, and Nicole, all went to Honor Academy in the year of 2007, 2008, and we had discussed some of their experiences, pretty heavy, and we had brought that forward because there has been a documentary that has not been released yet, correct?
July 23rd.
July 23rd. This article I read said June 23rd. I thought I missed it.
Actually, some people were confused. They
Yes.
thought it was June as well, but it is July.
Yeah.
23rd.
But it's the same people who did Shiny Happy People Duggars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Duggars. Well, now they have been doing a documentary.
Actually, that
on-
one was Happy Shiny People, and this one is now Shiny Happy People.
Oh gosh.
Or
switched.
I can't do
reverse
it.
that.
I don't
It wasn't
wanna-
specifically the.
It's too much
Did
for
you
me.
watch the first one?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't.
That was
not.
crazy.
It was.
I was too scared to.
It wasn't specifically the Duggars. It was the IPL.
Mhm.
Yeah,
something.
IBLP
Okay.
or something.
That's correct.
Yes,
Which
you're right.
The Duggars
You're
were
right.
a
Entire
huge
church
part of.
it, and
Okay.
spokesperson for it. But
Pretty
I
intense.
did not watch that one because for some reason I thought I was going to get
It's-
anxiety.
Wild.
I mean, yeah, there's some moments where I had like, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But now there's one that's coming out that's called Shiny Happy People Teenage Holy War. And that is a focus on the Honor Academy, HA.
I think it's actually probably more focusing on the Choir of the
Brothers.
Fires.
Oh,
than
yes,
it
that's
is the
right. It
Honor
was like
Academy.
Choir of the Fire, which
think.
is
We'll see.
connected.
Here's the thing.
Think.
We don't know
'Cause-
because it's
yeah.
not. come
It's
out.
not
So
yet.
No one asked me for an
We will
interview.
update after we.
Right.
we're not in this. We just thought we'd talk
Process.
about our experiences and
Because
like-
we were part of the ministry.
it's
Yeah.
a hot topic right now as far as like the alumni group from the Honor Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have mixed emotions about it. So
Mhm.
can
Us included.
I just say too, I know I just with the extreme amount of time we had in between these episodes, I was able to think a lot.
Reflect.
Carly, I hope you don't. I don't want. The whole point of this is not to convince each other of each other's things.
No.
Like this is a friendly. Like we love each other. All of us love each
Mhm.
other. And so, Carly, I hope you're not thinking like we're trying to convince you
Oh,
of anything
No.
different or
have
you
I been
or
coming
me.
across that way?
No,
No.
Here's the thing.
I mean, it's
people
our
like
own
to
experiences.
people like to have opinions in the whole like keyboard war world, and they're like, and I just
don't
want
know if
you
we
like
have a big enough following to worry about
this.
that.
I don't know what the traction will be on this, and that's not why. Honestly,
Yeah.
I hope it's not a big one. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just.
But
I mean, this like come what may.
I think too. I
kinda
agree with
thing.
you. Like, and just it's probably important to say like I absolutely respect where both of you guys are at,
Mhm.
and even Ashley from an outsider's perspective. And I think that we would all be a lot better off if we could actually listen
this?
and
Yeah.
hold each other. I don't know. You don't necessarily
Can we hold space for each other?
not hold space weirdly, just but hold on to like this is your thoughts,
having
and your
compassion,
Yeah.
and
And
listening.
respect
Yes.
Just respect.
viewpoints on
being
it,
honorable.
and-
I want to be honorable to the leadership, even though I probably didn't agree with some of the things. And maybe, Ashley, we talked about this. I don't know if Carly knows, but maybe we could do another one after we watch it and just kind of see
recap.
things. Yeah,
Mhm.
recap. And if,
That one's gonna be crazy. Probably. I'm like, oh, gosh,
you never know.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
have
Because
a-
there are things that people even wrote. You guys just heard me, though. I was like, that is not at all what I would have said about the HA. Not once did I think
Yeah.
that was happening.
And our heart here is not to discredit or dishonor anyone else's experience
Right.
if
Right.
they
Right.
had a
Right.
different
You're
experience
right.
than what we're talking about. Because
Mhm.
I can see, we can all see
Mhm.
how that culture could become very toxic and very
Mhm.
abusive. And
Mhm.
so
Yes, you said it beautifully. Good
if
job,
I'm
Carly.
not going to like dishonor anybody else's experience because mine was different.
Right. And yes, thank you. I think that we need to do better about making sure that we're not just, well, that wasn't my experience. So you're weak or you knew exactly what you were getting into. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Not exactly. I don't
No.
think we knew exactly what we were getting into. I would even say, like, yes, there were times where, like, people like, you could leave anytime you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Not, yes, you could, but there was that fear.
That
Right.
culture,
Oh,
that
yeah.
mindset. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's,
And like
it's like, yeah,
even touching outside of the Honor Academy, like thinking about Acquire the Fire in general, and this documentary and this teenage holy war thing, like it's so weird to me. And like, look, I got saved at Acquire the Fire. There was 35,000 people there.
Yeah.
you heard a battle
They
cry.
were big.
Yeah, I was at a battle cry technically.
Battle cries are bigger.
There was
than
Acquire the
beaches.
Fire on
Oh,
steroids.
they are bigger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
They're longer too, I think.
Mhm.
3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like
Bigger cities.
Friday to Sunday instead of.
Mhm.
Did we stay somewhere? Did
Yeah,
we?
we stayed in.
Oh, we stayed in.
I don't remember the.
I stayed at a church
Michigan.
in Detroit.
We were in Michigan, Detroit.
Sure.
So we were in Detroit the year before Joe was in Detroit.
Gosh,
Yeah.
it's so blurry.
We
Yeah, I don't remember.
we like
Mhm.
somebody paid for us to charter a bus, and we took a bunch of kids, and
Pretty sure we
It
had a
was
smelly
huge.
van.
I was so.
Maybe we were
Smelly
in
van.
Madison. I
I
think.
feel like it was closer.
Yeah.
I've been
So
to
here's.
I've been to Chicago too.
So I think it was Detroit was a battle cry, and then the year after was Madison, and Joe was in the Detroit one. Like you were getting saved while we were like, yeah, we're going to the Honor Academy, and I think it was in Madison. I don't know. Either
I
way,
don't know.
So
we're here.
We were all there at one point somewhere.
So, well, for a long time, I thought you guys were at the same one that I was at.
No, we were at the same one a year apart.
Because I got saved in 2007 and went to the Honor Academy in 2007. But,
And got married in 2008.
yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got
Wasted
married
no
in
time.
9 or 10.
Oh, well, that's the thing is,
11?
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
I knew that.
No.
So
Yeah.
when you were talking in the last episode
Wow.
about
I
like
was like, Wayne was there.
this shift where you were like, well, you can go this way or you can go this way.
Yeah.
I remember asking God, I was in the Honor Academy and I was like, I want to marry her. And the Lord was like, I was like, God, can I marry her? Is that legal? Can I do? And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh yeah, I want to marry her. So, and this was like a long
Like you were
time.
going to God saying,
Right. Like this was
Like-
a long time before I held her hand and we got kicked out.
Right.
And so now I'm like, and that's the thing is like,
The God of
In
free
my
will gave
brain-
you free will.
right.
yeah.
But I had
Right.
committed to these people
Mm.
that I wasn't going to date or talk about dating. And so now I'm trying to repress these things. Anyways, so the Honor Academy was all that. That was one thing. But like the insane thing about Acquire the Fire is I don't know how I feel about the production value of these things in general, like in Christianity.
Like, how do you feel about it? Because it's been how many years? Like, has it almost been 20 years?
Almost. I
Mhm.
mean,
Wow.
Nicole and I have been married for almost 17 years.
So we have experienced different areas of church with different productions.
Right.
And we've seen behind the curtains of how that is, how that can run, how that can ruin. Do you feel like now that we've experienced that, is that how you feel? Or is this something that you've kind of been like, this has
No,
been for a long time how I,
think
feel
that
about
when you
production?
see how the sausage is made, it kind of
It tastes bad.
changes.
Yeah,
some
it changes
things.
things.
And so here's the thing I'll say too. When we got kicked out of the Honor Academy, and I became a youth pastor within like 2 years of that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things I did as a youth pastor was basically try to recreate and Acquire the Fire
Right.
in our small town.
Right.
And so
And that was in Nebraska.
in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And you guys came to one of them.
I do remember going to one of them.
Yeah.
I
So
remember trying to tie late mats. hair back, and he had like his hair was getting long.
Oh yeah, we have a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's when we saw the severed cat's foot in the Chinese restaurant parking
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's
True story.
He has an orange cat.
so,
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
so after my experience, which I'll say, my experience with our last church was 100 times worse than anything I experienced at the Honor Academy. Like, I'll just
Oh,
put
yeah.
that
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
So
I'd probably wake up and go to the anvil any day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if the question is, do I have to go back to the Honor Academy or go back to that church? I'd pick the Honor Academy.
Yeah. I haven't even been there, and I pick it.
So sign me up for that trauma any day.
Sign me up twice.
So like this whole idea of the production value and like the millions and millions of dollars that were being spent on Acquire the Fire to like preach the gospel.
Yeah.
It is a miracle, and it proves the goodness of God, that goodness came out of those things.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't because of the production value that God did good things. It wasn't because of
Yeah, like the
What?
Holy Spirit wasn't heavier because the fog machine was working.
Right.
it.
You know,
It was literally
the lights
because
aren't getting people saved.
God is good,
Mm-hmm.
and God is going to be
Mhm.
God even when people suck.
Yep.
Like, and not that, like, that is a loaded statement. I understand that, but I just don't think
That is the goodness of God.
I mean, he used donkeys. So,
right. Like, I just
mean,
I
I
just
love
don't
donkeys.
think that I got saved because of Acquire the Fire. I got saved because of Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Acquire the Fire being part of it, and this is tricky because the only reason I went to this place where I met Jesus was because somebody told me that POD was going to be there. And so on the one hand, you're like,
Yeah,
a band.
a band.
I know, but what does it stand for?
I don't even
I don't
know. But I
Post
didn't even know they were
operation
Christian.
disorder.
I didn't even know they were a Christian band because
Well,
they
I
did like
think
the
it
Youth of
was
the
POD
Nation.
stand
Yeah.
And like so they toured on the and so
And I think Acquire the Fire was advertised to unchurched people, and it was advertised as a way to like get your unchurched people to know Jesus because
right,
we're gonna have
100%.
a party,
Yeah.
you know.
And I think that did probably I don't know if it did more harm than good, but it probably did as much harm as it did good because what you are left with is a bunch of people that think that that's what Christianity is.
Yeah.
And did you look up POD?
Yeah.
What is it?
Payable on death.
Payable on death.
Yikes. Wait, it's that.
I'm just looking at it like that's a dumb name.
They're like, we can't tell you that. We're gonna call ourselves POD.
Peyote.
Boy, we have gone off the rails, folks.
Sorry.
We're shiny, happy people over here.
But like, that's, and I think that's going to be the focus of the documentary is this this holy war, this like,
Mhm.
you know, and the whole idea of this movement of Christianity at this time frame was like Christians need to overtake everything. And if we do that and evangelize, we'll be countercultural. And again, that's not all a bad message.
Yeah, it's like
No.
bad, right?
It's when you shove it in their throat.
Well, and
You know what I mean? It's like
it's when
it gets
the mission
distasteful.
becomes more important than the actual people.
You're like
Mhm.
over salting.
You're gonna
Mhm.
you're gonna cause some damage.
Yep.
Yep.
And case in point, when when we talk about this like having a financial scandal, my
Mhm.
understanding of this wasn't like they just bamboozled people for money. It was like they were spending money unwisely and they just ran out.
It was mishandled.
It was mishandled. So
Mismanaged.
they weren't like embezzling it.
No.
So scandal feels like the wrong word, but for lack of a
Yeah,
better word, this
that's just
financial
what- yeah.
scandal
Yeah.
was like the flash and excitement of Acquire the Fire essentially started to wear off and people weren't signed up for it. And I remember
The culture shifted.
well, yeah, the culture shift. And like that's the thing is I feel like even modern day churches is a microcosm of this acquire the fire type ministry.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if they were only going to talk about Teen Mania or like honor like ATF, that if they're in that vein, because there's so many other things in the 90s and 2000s that were doing the same thing.
Same thing.
So it's like I was thinking maybe they would kind of make it a broader.
But I feel like acquire the fire in the late 90s and early 2000s especially that was kind of
I mean, you could talk
what
about
everybody
like
patterned
YWAM,
off of. Yeah,
Right.
and
but that was
CFNI.
but that was all patterned off of what Teen
Was
Media
it?
Ministries was doing. 100%.
I guess so, maybe.
Was he the first?
I don't know if he was the
We
first,
should
but he
probably
was the
know
most
these things,
successful.
But
Yeah, he was the
probably
most
true.
well known.
It's true. And again, like I know, here's the thing too. People are always, I've seen a lot of the comments, like it's all based off of good intentions, good intentions. I understand that, but there also has to be humility and repentance and ownership
accountability.
and accountability. It can't just be like, I had good intentions. It needs to be like, I had good intentions, but it went off the rails and I didn't stop it when it should have.
Yeah.
And I need to take ownership of that. And maybe, excuse me, maybe Ron Luce has done that.
But he's done
And
that privately.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing
If
is,
he
I
has.
don't
If he
know
has.
so correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe other people in leadership have done that. I'm not going to sit here with it. I don't like when people go on a witch hunt and have a big old pitchfork and blah, blah, blah. But I do expect leaders that are doing a leadership program to be good leaders.
Mhm.
Well,
Again, for myself
but
too.
so the
I'm
Acquire
saying
the
that for
Fire wasn't a
myself, too.
leadership program.
No.
Yes,
So
it
that's-
was. Oh, not
No,
not
The honor-
ATF, but
but
the
again,
Honor Academy
So,
was.
but we're shifting into this
Oh, are we
topic,
talking about-
documentary. I don't think that and this is the funny thing about people in the Honor Academy blowing up about like defending the Honor Academy. I don't know if the Honor Academy,
Has
we'll have to
anything
find
Will
out.
be
really
even
do.
Because
mentioned.
it
It
sounds
has
like,
to. I bet they'll talk about ESOL.
I bet you
Yeah.
they'll talk about it.
That
Can
was the nail in the coffin for a lot of.
Can
those
you
people.
guys explain what ESOL is? Because we did not talk about what it actually is
sure.
in the last
Emotional?
podcast.
You finished
So-
it, so you
Yeah,
I forgot
Carly.
how many, but there was like 5 or 6 LTEs. They were called life transforming events, and one of those was ESOL, emotionally stretching opportunity of a lifetime. That's what it's called.
Navy SEAL training.
Essentially,
Navy SEAL Hell Week for the record.
Yeah.
Not a
that's-
week. It was 73 hours.
But that's what
Yeah.
it's called.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah. And one of my fellow corps mates, she was a January. Her dad was actually a Navy SEAL, and he came and helped set up the course and facilitated. And he's the sweetest person on earth. And I was in the med tent during this event, and he was such a dad. So I knew him before it. He's like, "You only have 2 hours left. You can do it. You can do it." And he wasn't supposed to tell us, but anyways,
What is
he was the sweetest
Sinner.
Navy. He was the sweetest Navy SEAL that I've ever
I
met.
love that.
What an oxymoron that's gonna be.
That's awesome.
Did you say baby seal or Navy SEAL?
Navy? He could kill you in 10 ways with his
Yeah,
finger,
100%.
but
Sweet as a
With a
button.
good dad.
Dad mode.
so it was a weekend of intense physical challenges.
My
Being
don't
Kind of
matter.
challenges.
Well,
You start.
I was disassociated after the first 3 hours. Honestly, it's a blur to me. I don't remember much.
I remember everything.
How long
of
is
my
this?
15 hours.
73 hours.
We slept
I'm
outside.
sorry, what?
We slept
You
outside.
I
started
low
at.
crawled so much that I
Sorry,
had
I'm
to,
grabbing this.
I
It
had
was
to-
just constant physical challenges that you did with your platoon. Was it called platoon?
Mhm.
Company.
both of those things.
Yeah. And that you had to do together to push yourself physically to your breaking point, so that ringing the bell was like the object of, or like the theme. Ringing the bell was hitting bar was burial and resurrection, which meant dying to yourself and becoming alive through his
How do
strength.
you remember all of that?
Especially after you
Acronyms.
disassociated.
Acronyms.
I
So-
don't remember the bar.
But ringing the bell was when you would tap out.
You tap
Right.
it, ring out.
But it was advertised as, once you hit bar, whenever that is for you, come ring the bell. Once you have achieved that,
Got you.
come ring the bell. When your ESOL's over, come ring the bell if you've achieved that. you've gotten to the end of yourself and can now fully rely on Jesus, then come ring the bell. Whenever
Did you
that is.
guys have to
Oh, I didn't
prepare
get to
for
that.
this?
I was
Yes.
throwing up water.
We had to. So you had a platoon that you're in, and then that in that platoon you had a state.
which was basically your core group.
No, mine was not the
Mine
same.
was.
No.
So
We had
so
some.
in your platoon, yeah, that's true. That is true. Maybe and it doesn't matter. In your platoon, though, you had to like do corporate exercising every day. They trained you, and like, and then you're also memorizing everything about the state that you're in. So I was Pennsylvania. And then we would say like, my name is B.A. and you know what I got? What do you got? I got a state that's hotter than hot. That's what like we would say all the time. And then, but like, so,
I remember they
and
gave
you
us
also had
oatmeal
to,
and Vienna sausages.
oh my gosh, you had to,
The
you,
amount of puke I saw that weekend.
I
I
rolled
had
in
to
somebody's
eat
puke.
my puke. Like, so I remember, like, oh, okay, sorry. So yes, they train you, you do all the corporate exercising, all that stuff. And then so you're like getting strong for this weekend or yeah. And then, during that time, you are asked by your sergeants or your captains or whatever, like one of them was you had to stand on top of a hill and they would ask you like, what is the state cookie? And
Oh,
so
no,
you'd have
thank
to
you.
know the state cookie. And
Or
if you
roll the
didn't
hill.
know the state
I'll
cookie,
roll that
you'd
hill.
have to roll the hill. Here's the thing.
Or
I'm not good at that
rolling
kind
a
of stuff.
hill
Yeah.
is the I was like, I can roll a hill. Oh no. I didn't get another question wrong after that. Like I was like, I can't do this because you're
Because you gotta go
rolling
back
people,
up,
And then you
right?
have to spring
Yep,
up to
you
the
have
top and do it
sprint up
again.
and then
Ugh.
ask another question. And then like you would see people vom and then you would have
would
to like
roll in it?
roll in
Yep.
it or yeah. And so like the thing
No.
is, I'll say this: you did not have to do the ESOL. That is true. You did not have to.
But
Did people
you
feel
sure
pressured?
felt crappy if you
Probably.
didn't.
So
I was told medically I had to ring out, and there was still a guy like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'm like throwing up water.
I had to bring up medically as well.
I had impetigo.
Yeah, Joe was really bad. He was waddling all the way to the.
I
You
I
had
had
blood
to
all
get a
over your
special
sheets.
petition that I could wear shorts because you weren't allowed to wear shorts to anything.
Yeah.
And
You're like pussing
I-
all over the place.
it was bad.
I had swamp
Gross.
foot by the end of it.
You
'cause-
did? Did you have trench foot?
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Swamp
Trench
foot,
foot,
trench foot.
yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Same.
bad
Did your
bad.
toenails fall out?
I don't remember. I just remember
wish my
not
ugly
being
one
able to
would've.
walk for like 48 hours after that.
Oh yeah, some people just slept
Yeah.
like for like
I only made
days.
it, I only
I only
made
made
it
it
15 hours.
I made it 14 hours.
So this is all a bunch of just like military stuff for how long? 70.
when it's
73
not even
hours.
just military stuff, they would do, and maybe this isn't in Hell Week, but like people that made it far enough, they would do like sleep, no sleep. So it'd be like 3
Did you
o'clock
do
in the
no
morning.
sleep, no sleep?
Yeah.
Or
Sleep.
sleep, no sleep?
Yeah.
So
How
that
do you
was
do
like
I could not do that.
They
They
woke
Explain.
us up. We slept on the football field and they would wake us up at intervals.
You get a
throughout
blanket?
No.
You're like talking like, we're talking about like 9 to
Blanket.
25-minute
They would
intervals.
wake us up at intervals
And then
throughout
you'd
the
take an
night,
ice
and then
bath.
you would have to. Yeah, I forgot about the ice baths, but they had you do like sit-ups or like some sort of physical activity, and then they'd let you go back to sleep to be woken up again.
I
do
would
it
have been
all over.
discharged. I would have been sent home for cussing.
Well,
Cussing.
Okay, so that's ESOL in a nutshell.
Yeah.
There's
so here it
There
says
was-
like here you can finish ESOL. We are too soft. Don't listen to your emotions. Mind over will.
Yikes.
Mind will overcome emotions. So I will say that there were moments where
Yikes.
like in
That is kind of triggering.
if you were to ask me how did ESOL
There's
help you?
People who can hear the Survivor theme song and still like,
Oh my gosh.
Get PTSD.
I don't like the song, the worship song, the Take My Life. I cannot listen to that song.
oh, I love
It
it.
goes the one that's like
You
take
finished
my
it.
life and let it be consecrated. Worthily.
They played
Take
that.
my moments.
You had to memorize that.
and My
Oh.
days.
And if
Well, I
you
would
did,
have been.
Is that the one?
if
I
you
would have
didn't
been sent home
memorize
for
it,
not memorizing because
you-
you should see me do worship leading.
if
Sometimes
you
I'm like,
didn't
"La, la, la,
memorize
la,
it,
la."
you were rolling the hill or doing a
Oh,
low
I
crawl.
forget lyrics.
I didn't do one
so-
low
I do
crawl.
bad.
I stood at
and
attention like
that's why I got
nobody's
sick,
business.
is I did so many low crawls in the first
But
couple
you
of
were also a
hours.
Bring It On.
I didn't
you were also a
understand
Bring It
what
I
On.
was not.
Oh, I thought you were.
I thought about it.
No,
but
man, I
was like-
flew under the radar like nobody's business.
Listen,
I was like,
listen. I did so many low crawls.
you lost your skin.
I lost all of the skin on the insides of both of my knees.
Yeah.
And I immediately
Jeez.
did the obstacle course and ran through the freaking mud.
Yeah.
And then
that's
you
why,
got-
so
Did
that's
you
why
get
I started throwing
infection?
up. I got
Yeah.
infected, and it was like
Immediate.
immediate.
I mean, at one point we were in the pond, the retaining pond,
Yeah, and you had to crawl up that thing.
and we were those
How'd
dead
you get
fish
out?
floating around.
No.
It smelled like
Yes.
death.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, oh,
remember being one. I couldn't
I can't
afford.
get in a boat.
I couldn't afford. I had I had no money, so the shoes that I had were Velcro, guys. Like
That's hot.
so they were cute Velcros, but they were the only like tennis shoes that I had. So imagine being in the mud. Velcro doesn't work when it's all nasty.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to run in shoes that are falling apart. And then I'm also not a tiny person. Not sure if anyone noticed. So Rich, this guy, is trying to cradle me because you have to take your whole platoon with you. I'm dead embarrassed. Like he's like cradling me and he's like, I felt like Forrest Gump and Bubba. When he's like, Bubba, and he's like running. I was Bubba.
Something bit me.
Something
And I'm
jumped
like,
up and
"Rich,
bit
you
me
don't
in the
have to
butt
do
top.
this." Like, you don't have to do this. And he's like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, so
remember
I get, we're not having water all the time either. Like, it's not like you just have your water
Nothing's
bottles.
planned, as in like timing wise, right?
Oh,
like
it's
you're-
all planned.
It's
everything's
everything.
planned.
It's
So
a
you
like
have
plan.
to
so your meals
plan.
and everything were
Every-
planned.
We don't know
Sleep.
what's planned, but
They
every
have a plan.
second of it
But you
is-
guys
We don't
we
know
have
what's going on.
facilitators, which were either
That, thank you.
staff
Right.
or they were staff or
Yeah.
like RDs or
yeah,
CAs.
CAs.
And that
My
was
CA was with us, so I loved that. I loved my CA. But I remember like you had it, so you couldn't use your name. You could only use your number. My number was 419. I'll never forget.
I don't remember mine.
That is wild to me.
Giddy up for. Oh, that's
So,
409.
I can look at the YouTube video that I made right after I rang out because I looked
So-
like a Koopa soldier.
I have the DVD. I was telling Nicole.
Oh my gosh, I do not
So
want to.
I was 419, and I was just so
Did you
out
get
of
DVD?
it. No,
Okay.
I didn't want one.
We waited 15 hours.
So, I remember like we got to the watering hole and it was just this communal, like those pumps or whatever. It's what it looked like. And I put my hands, I was so out of it, and I put my hands in the water and I heard like from a distance, but I'm sure he was like next to me. And he's like, 419, your nose is bleeding. And I was like drinking it. And I'm like just not computing because I have a name, not a number. But I'm thinking, and he's like, 419, your nose is bleeding. And I'm just like drinking.
I'm
And he's like,
So we're gonna give you the number.
he's like, 419, your nose is bleeding. And I was like,
That's
I'm
great.
probably 419. Like, I was so it's like so out of it.
Okay. When I rang out,
Hold on. So I like get to the med tent, which good thing I got there by myself and Mr. Rich didn't have to do it. I get to the med tent and my blood pressure was so bad that I just bled out of my nose. And I was like,
Mm.
think I should ring out. And they're like, can you do 5 more minutes? That was the thing.
That
Can
was
you
the
do
thing.
5 more minutes? Which, by the way, helped me a lot when I was extremely depressed. And I will say that's the one thing I grabbed from Esel was that when I was going through my stuff with Ellie and I was pregnant with her, I would say like, can you do 5 more minutes? Can you do one more day? Can
One
you
more
do
day.
5 more minutes?
That's
so
what I
that
do
is
too, yeah.
something.
I am glad you got something out of it.
Joe didn't
I
have
got
to-
nothing.
Joe got
out of it. I got infected.
Yeah.
They're like, so what did you learn from that? I'm like, don't low crawl to rip off all the skin on your knees
and
and
swim in mud.
What did you
Sweet.
learn from it, Carly?
I don't know.
Okay, so
And
okay.
you
And
finished
just-
it.
I'm really, really
You
good at
finished it.
disassociating because
I'm pretty impressed. I was always impressed with you.
you just
always.
black out. Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
I
that's
don't think you
wild.
knew how much I
The
was
only
like,
time I black
so
out is when I'm angry.
Yeah.
Like I got into a couple like fist fights in my life, and
But
I don't remember what
like
happened in those.
BC, like you don't do that
No,
now.
I just knew
Yesterday.
like I have to get through this, so I need to just have nothing going on up here.
That's wild.
And that's what I do.
And did
no,
you?
I-
Because there's a finish line, right?
Yeah, 72
How
hours.
does that
72 or 73
Like, how do
hours.
you-
Let me
Well,
see.
I remember.
Do you
the,
run to,
do
like,
you finish? No,
finish
like you come
line?
into a building. So everybody walked into this building, and so like everybody
Oh,
on
yeah,
campus,
Carly,
whether
yeah, that's
you
right.
whether you finished or you didn't even do it, they like went into this gym, and all of the finishers walked into the gym, and that is to this day in the top 5 grossest smelling things I've ever experienced.
Also, I did break the rule and I did not take a shower in the showers. I walked my filthy butt full of mud and everything. And the reason why is because I was so out of it. I just needed to get to my bed
Mhm.
and no one walked me to my dorm. No one walked me anywhere. I just had to make it.
Yep.
And so because I was in Green Hall, I had a balcony.
Yeah.
And Green Hall was the only one that had a balcony and like a little bit of an inside porch.
So, like,
And
first class.
Yeah. It was
I like was able to take my clothes off there and go into the showers because I just needed to have warm water and get into my bed and sleep. I just slept.
Holy cow! So these are the notes. This is pre-ESOL preparation. No watches. 1 change of clothes, towel, bar of soap,
That's for when you're
flip-flops, 1
done.
bag,
Mm-hmm.
right name on it. Can't just leave.
You have
Know
to
as
ring out,
much
right.
about state as possible. Memory verse. No country verse. No verses of the hymn. 1 change of clothes. Sleeping bag and blankets on the football field.
We slept on the football field
3:30
and they woke
a.m.
us up with water.
Football field, water bottle,
Like a
flashlight,
like hoses.
12 on
Mhm.
Sunday. Contacts. Must attempt 100%
though?
with all your might.
And then
Die
there are
to your
people-
flesh.
Die to your flesh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yikes.
You know though
That
that
is just
there were
intense.
people that loved it. They
Oh,
just
yeah.
ate it up.
Mhm.
And it was
I-
never the people that were my size. they were all just like super like athletic and I don't know. That's how I,
I
felt.
liked it.
That's how I
saw it
felt.
as
I'm
another
being tongue in cheek.
challenge just to overcome. I don't know. Well, going back to what you said, I would remind myself, like, hey, you can do hard things.
Yeah.
Because you did that.
Yes. Yeah. That's
But
about
that's
all.
about the only thing
That's
I
about
got.
it.
I didn't hear God. I didn't hear anybody.
Yeah. They're like,
Right.
did God speak to you?
I
I was
couldn't
like,
even
no,
hear-
I
no,
was
it's
too
fighting
busy
for my
throwing
life.
I
it
couldn't
up.
hear my name.
I couldn't hear him over the ledges.
I'd be like, I yelled his name a lot.
Lord help
Why,
me.
God?
Jesus, I
Help.
need you.
The LT that did get me though, however, was world awareness, which I was telling Nikki about.
Yes, tell us, because we didn't do world awareness.
Right there for it was one of the last ones.
Mhm.
World
it in
awareness.
this?
Yeah, and I also have a whole binder. I was reading it before I got here. Just
Second
about
binder.
the LTEs. Yeah, I was
It's cute.
type A during this time in my life, apparently. World awareness was where the campus was overtaken by, I forget what they were trying to be, but the entire campus was overrun. And the heart behind it was to help you understand what the persecuted church and people throughout the world feel like. So we would watch not documentaries. Some of them were documentaries. Like we watched Hotel Rwanda, we watched 9/11 stuff in the auditorium, and then we would go out and role play these situations essentially, and the facilitators would arrest you and put you in jail, and like if you're caught with the Bible, you were punished. Like it was just super intense. And as I did everything during that time, I just took it seriously. And so, you know, they told us to get into the mindset of what it would be like for the Christians around the world, to help you understand and have empathy for what they're going through. And so when I did it, I was in that mindset that I'm in a third world country. These
Did
are
you have a
facilitators.
choice to be in this, or did it? Or,
No.
Oh,
not for
I was
this
gonna say I
one.
don't know how you
ESOL,
could get out
ESOL
of
was
that
the
one.
only optional one.
And
Well, I didn't make it-
LTE was also optional for those who
I
couldn't
didn't
physically
mind the
make it.
Right.
fasting. I didn't mind the fasting. I'll see. I didn't make it to the mountain. There's
Well,
a funny
you had to
story
test
about.
into that.
Yeah, there's a funny story about that, but I'll tell it in a second. Keep going.
So during my time in the LTE, I was arrested and put into one of the showers in the Quonset huts or whatever they're called back there.
The soup cans.
Yeah, I was
Quonset.
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 Quonset, I think.
Quasimodo? Okay.
The soup can. We call him
We'll
soup
call it the
cans.
soup
Were those the
can.
same soup cans
Yes.
I was put
that we
into the
did
shower
camp?
in
Yeah.
jail because I had a Bible, or I don't know why. Maybe I was just chosen, but that we were being chased by paintball guns. So I was put into this shower for hours. I think I was there for close to a day, and like I'm not a touchy feely person, but once they let me out, one of my roommates was there, and I just held her, and I would not.
Did they give
let
you
go.
food?
I don't remember.
Oh my
Remember,
god!
but it was our job to convert our captors to Christianity while we were there.
Mhm.
And at one
Who
point,
sometimes didn't speak your language.
that was unreached people groups.
Oh, okay. That was
That's
different.
separate.
Different.
Okay. I didn't make it to those two.
Yeah. But at one point, I don't remember if this was part of IET or World Awareness. I was on my knees with a paintball gun to my head, being yelled at
Carly.
Yikes!
to denounce Jesus.
Carl.
And I was fully there. I was fully like immersed in this experience. So I'm like, I'm dying. Like this is it, because I can't do that. Can't denounce Jesus.
What? Would you have gotten dismissed if you're like, you know what?
Yeah. And I don't remember what happened, but it felt so real.
Wow.
And I didn't, and then they're like, good job, and your simulation's over. I don't remember what happened.
So
but
when
I
you
just
said
felt-
when you didn't denounce, there was like,
I think I was let
I
go.
don't like the idea of saying it, but did they shoot you?
No.
Okay.
No,
'cause
but
when
there
you
was-
said that, I was like,
No.
Your simulation's over.
Well, that's what I'm like, did they end it right beforehand, or did they follow through?
Did you
and
wake up
then
before you hit the
end it?
ground?
Yeah, like
Goodness.
Yeah, that's the one that got me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That breaking point, but that
No,
one got
thank
me.
you.
Listen, I know
Whoa.
people, like, there are people that
I'm
have
sorry.
said
That's kind of like
that's intense. Like,
No, that's a
So,
lot.
there
Yeah.
are people that are
Yeah.
like,
I have
it
a different
showed-
word for that.
I loved that one because it showed, a lot about what's other places going on in the world. I know that those things are happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there
Those
are
are
times
happening.
where
That is true.
I don't
Mhm.
need to have like my friend Olivia and I, we would just like sit and cry and weep for these people. And like
Mhm.
we would be like, what would we do if we so it's I guess what I would say, and maybe this is a bold statement, but I feel like I wouldn't have to go through a simulation to have compassion and know to pray for these people.
100%.
And because that was what they were saying, was that was the reason why you went through it, is
Yeah.
so you could gain that. And I'm like, I guess I wouldn't. I don't know.
Did that
But-
mess with you for a while after that?
I think so. I mean, yeah, it still scares me bringing myself back to that mindset of where I was during that time, because I was so fully immersed in the experience.
Because it feels super
'Cause
real.
It feels real because everyone's playing a role and they stay in that role.
The mind disassociation of that. So like I did a role play thing where like we were trying to scare the crap out of kids to not drink and drive when they were in high school.
Okay.
And I was like a victim in this thing.
Yeah.
And you like put yourself in this mind frame. Like my body started involuntarily reacting to things.
Yeah.
And you like put yourself, it's like that actually happened. Like you put yourself in that situation. You think it's real. You think like
Mhm.
that's a gun.
Yep.
That is super traumatizing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I hate being touched, and I held her, my roommate Brittany, and she hates being touched, but she just held me. She's like,
I love
we,
Brittany. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
We yeah, that
That's
that was rough.
That's
that's
wild.
wild.
I had
You
no
would do
idea
that
that you
again?
guys went through this much.
I don't think they
Now
She
would.
did say she would do it. There would be different. Like you said, you're like
you
I
would
would
change
do,
things.
That was the culture of the church at that time.
Right.
It was
Mhm.
extreme. You know,
It is
the being the
literally,
seed
yeah.
of Christ. Think of
So
all
extreme
those things
things.
that were going on at that time. It was extremist. Well, not an extremist, but it was shock factor.
Right.
True.
So this
True.
kind of like segues back into these things about Acquire the Fire. Those were super extreme.
Yeah.
Right? There's this big, flashy, like
Mm-hmm.
I would even
Oh, yeah.
say fear tactics.
For sure.
Like, and that's the thing that I struggle with because it doesn't feel I don't think-
Coerced a little bit.
I don't yeah. Like, and I don't again, I'm not accusing anybody of being malicious or evil or manipulative,
Right.
but
it's
it
just what
is
you maybe.
I would say even if it's unintentional, I would say that it is kind of a manipulation tactic.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess
For Christ, though, so it doesn't matter.
Right. But like, but is so you like said this earlier, like, so like the God of free will gave you free will. How much free will does it feel like? And this is an analogy. This isn't what they did.
Right.
So I'm going to give an analogy. If somebody's like pulls a gun to your head and says, say the words I want you to say, or I'm going to shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how much choice do you have in that? And like, that's not how I think God operates.
Yeah.
And even for me, like the choir, the fire that I went to, when I gave my life to Jesus, hell wasn't even like the thing that got me to the decision of saying yes. It was like seeing the purpose of Christ moving in my life that got that way. And so I struggle with the extremity and the extreme nature of these types of things because I just am curious, like God obviously worked in that, but was God intending for that? I
well, and
struggle with that.
I think too when it comes to the ATF and stuff, I think being on both sides as a youth, as an attender, and as a youth pastor leader bringing kids, there's just this pattern that would happen where, you know, I feel like a lot of it, if you were to like compare their experience with the Lord, like a light where if you were to crack open a glow stick, it cracks open, it's like lit up, and then that flame just like very quickly burns out after a week.
Sure.
You know, or
Yeah.
it's because like
they're not making disciples, they're making converts.
right. And so it's
Exactly.
like right.
That's such a good way to say that.
Right. And it's like, and I know a lot of it was like, eventually it felt like a lot of it was, okay, now bring your children, your kids home, and it's up to you to shape them and whatever and stuff like that. But I think that again, I'm not trying to blame these events because I know like a lot of beautiful things can happen. I'm not trying to say I'm just saying there can be a lot of flaws that happen when we do stuff like that, when we make our decision to follow Christ in such an emotional, big, gigantic, again, that's okay. But I'm saying though that like a lot of times what happens is like, how come I'm not experiencing that every single day?
Right. And I
How
struggled
come
with that.
yes, because that's where you did get saved.
I thought,
right.
and this is like, I
Right.
think I might have said this earlier, like when you get saved in that amount of production value, you think that's what Christianity is.
Yeah.
Everything else is anticlimactic after
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Right.
And so
It's
like,
kind of like you're in this high.
so,
Yes.
so part of the reason I think that I did feel like the Honor Academy was a next step was because it was like, oh, you're going to acquire the fire.
Yes,
every
every
day.
day. Yes,
Yep.
that was something that I'm pretty sure.
It was advertised. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I wanted to say. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what it
So-
was. Like, yeah.
So, and even
Do
if
you want
it
this every
wasn't
day?
that-
Come down.
even if it wasn't that language, which I think it could have been,
Close to that.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think that's where, and listen, the Honor Academy was not acquire the fire every day. That is crazy. But this
The
like,
worship was similar.
Yeah, the worship was.
I would say that that was like the only thing. But like when I got saved, Hillsong United was the worship band. Like it was like, so it was School of Worship was good, but they weren't
Hillsong.
2006 Hillsong United.
Right.
Joel John or Brian Houston and
I
all
just.
this. So like,
Yeah,
but
I
that
don't know.
I do look at that and I struggle with it. Again, I don't know how to struggle with it because I'm not here if it's not for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, like I wouldn't want any of my daughters to go to a thing and then feel compelled to make a decision at 16 or 17 that could alter or affect the rest of their life purely based on the emotions they felt from a production.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a roommate at the AJ who got saved like 4 or 5 times while we were there because of those big emotional moments that were produced.
I mean,
Girl, we just
yeah,
did this.
I got
Right.
baptized a lot.
You know that?
Hey.
Yeah, like I got baptized a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I don't know.
So, and like, there's grace for
kinda
all
need to
of
do it
that.
again.
aspect.
Absolutely,
But-
but it's
but that's-
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, how, and this is also like the documentary that's going to come out. My curiosity on is it going to be revolving around this aspect of it, the acquire the
It might.
fires, and what stories are going to come out of that is what I'm curious about, because I think there probably is some validity
Mm-hmm.
in the skepticism from the outside world on this. And looking back at the Honor Academy, at Acquire the Fire, though I'm grateful for what God did through those ministries, I look back and I see the red flags.
Yeah.
And I would probably have a tendency to believe the negative remarks and the negative reviews and the manipulation that people are probably going to accuse.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have a tendency to believe that instead of not believe that. And that's a weird place to stand in.
Yeah.
When I had such, like, I didn't have I didn't have an overly traumatic experience from a lot of,
But you
the-
don't agree with a lot of
but
it.
I don't agree with
And
a
that's
lot of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. I think that's fine.
Because we grow as people. And
Yeah.
I think even the leadership wouldn't stand by some of this stuff.
I think
I would
I would
think not.
agree. I would agree
I would hope
with
not.
you.
I don't stand by some of the stuff I taught at
A youth leader?
Yeah.
Same.
100%.
So I think there's room and there's grace for that, but that was the Christian culture at that time, and they were just following suit with that.
Well,
And I think that's why we can have grace, because I think
Mhm.
we've kind of modeled like when we
Right.
when we left the HA, we still brought the model. Like you said, we would try to do like events and
But I think
Yeah,
churches,
man.
local churches, are still trying to do that just in their local
Yeah.
church.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's why I struggle with it so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Because I just don't think it's helpful to
Yeah.
have this like production value based consumeristic Christianity.
as a mega
right.
yeah.
church.
Oh my gosh.
I-
it's
yeah.
damaging so
And like
many-
you
so many
said,
people.
like the production's there, but then you also, especially on social media, you only see what they give you. So what they're seeing, especially in Christians, is this picture perfect thing, and then all of a sudden this big old situation happens, or you find out that like John over there is really struggling, or he's been at the bar, and yet you thought that he was this perfect person. It's like, and so we have these ideas of like our own lives as a production. You know what I mean? Like, I
Well,
think like
yeah, because the social media aspect of it is they're selling you the best of Christianity, and
Yeah.
they're under. So, like, here's the thing too. I was thinking about this today. I fully believe that biblically, theologically, like, we will suffer for Christ, and
There's-
that's
there's-
okay.
there-
Like,
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
okay to suffer for
Yes.
Christ.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
What this is, though, is a self-inflicted sometimes or leadership-inflicted trauma that is different than suffering for Christ. Like, this isn't what God meant.
Persecution.
Like, the suffering for Christ and the hard things that happen as a result of sin in the world, like, it wasn't referring to
Mismanagement.
to this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and some of it like self-inflicted, right? Like,
Yeah.
I put myself in that situation. That's not suffering for Christ. That's
No.
being an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, on my part.
Right.
And so I think that why I bring that up is that the church should be an extension of the person and character of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went into ministry and when I started um, doing this Christian thing, like you said, the big theme at this time was like you're a warrior for Christ. You're an elite warrior.
Mm-hmm.
You're like we're doing these big production things because we're going to use the tools of the world to win the world for Christ.
Right.
Ron Luce said that directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard pastors even
Right. I
Yeah.
said that.
that
Right.
were
And like I
they were
offhand one time heard that the generation after us was going to be the generation of change. I don't even think I knew what that meant, but I just
remember
started
that.
I just started
Yeah.
preaching that.
Yeah.
Hey man, prophets from for decades have been saying you're the generation of change and you're going to go out and you're going to like win this world for Jesus
was
and
it
there's going to be
called?
revival and
Yeah.
World changer. Yeah, world
Oh,
changers.
yeah.
That was
So
like a
World
big.
changers. Yeah.
I got like this little doll that Joel Johnson started when he was an intern.
a doll.
It was a little creepy doll and it had a bunch of interns before me. It had their names on it and somebody was like came up to me and they're like you're going to be a world changer and they gave me this doll and
What's a doll do?
it just was a creepy wooden doll and under the doll's dress grossly enough
Right.
was the names of all these people who received the doll from somebody before them
Who was a world changer?
who was
It's
a
too
world
much for me.
changer. So I was supposed to be this world changer,
I don't
and
know
then I
about
got
this.
dismissed. So then I had to pass on this
Right.
world changer
How big
doll.
was this doll?
That's why I
Um,
struggled so much after the AJ because I was going to go to Bethany College of Missions because that's what you were supposed to do with your life was to be a
Mhm.
world
Become.
changer. And when God very clearly told me home is your mission field, I'm like, but there's no glory in that.
That's
You know
hard.
what I
Right,
mean?
right,
And
right.
that's what
Mhm.
Wow.
that's what we were taught.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I think
You know?
Mm-hmm.
so. This is the in regards to that, like that's not God.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I never.
So-
I was always like, I'm not flying.
So
This is gonna be. I'm
the
staying.
interesting.
It's gonna be
That's
me.
what he does. Here's the thing. God doesn't.
No, he
I
doesn't.
had an interpreter in Panama. One of the requirements for graduation was going on a mission trip. Of course, I chose the hardest one because I'm a masochist or something. But I went.
I'm starting to think that. Yeah. Yes.
So I went to Panama. We were in the jungle, and then I spoke sort of Spanish, and so I could talk to an interpreter. He awesome dude. He knew about God. He didn't know God, and he was going to commit suicide, and jumped off a cliff, had a physical hand grab him and pull him back. He wasn't at an ATF. You know, God doesn't need us.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't
Right,
need
yeah.
Christians. He shows up. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, it's,
100%.
we
Mhm.
overcome
Pop the
people
clutch.
overcomplicate the simplicity of God's love, and it's just
And how he shows up and how he
One-
like will reveal himself. Like I think I want to say Caleb found our pastor
Mhm.
like had a like revival with the Lord in his truck.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, like it wasn't at a
So
Those are my
know.
most favorite intimate times with the
yeah.
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Is when I'm driving alone in the car.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I think I think the interesting thing, like what you're saying, Carly, is it's so true. Like God doesn't need us. And I think it's so fascinating and exciting that he chooses to partner with us
Yeah.
and he wants
and he
us.
wants us and
Mhm.
he chooses us. I think that's so beautiful about what God does. But then I think that we do a really good job at screwing it up.
oh yeah.
And like
Lord, we need you.
so the early church wasn't perfect because nobody is Jesus. But I find it interesting, like the moniker of Christianity came because people looked so much like Jesus that people were confusing them for Jesus. Well, one of the like core characteristics of the early church wasn't a mentality to go and take over the world.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me because that's what this brand of Christianity and Acquire the Fire and like this holy war things has taught us.
Yeah.
That you're going to be a world changer. You're going to bring the kingdom of God into this world. You're going to see the realities of the kingdom of heaven in your everyday life, which is great theology.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But the practicality and manipulation of that is so weird to me because the early church that overcame, like, we're talking the formation of the Christian movement from the beginning, um, historically didn't have that same mentality, and they like outlasted the Roman government.
Yeah.
They didn't overthrow the Roman government. The Roman government was in ruin, and then they depended on the economy and generosity of the Christian movement. So
Mhm.
that's how that started, right? And so when we think about this, like, whole, we got to put Christians in government so we can take over the world. I'm like, well, that's not. I'm not seeing that in scripture. I'm not seeing that in design, but that's what we're taught. Or we're like,
I mean, I remember do you remember with the ring? Like it felt like it was just like everyone wears their ring so that we recognize each other. Like
You're part of the line.
yes,
See,
hold the line. Like
I don't
and
remember getting a ring.
Were these specific rings?
the commitment
Yeah, the honor
ceremony.
rings.
You get your
Okay.
honor ring.
So they provided them. They were all the same.
No, we
Okay.
bought 'em.
Oh, you bought them yourself. Did you
Oh,
pick
that
them
must
out?
be the thing. I probably didn't
Did we
buy
buy
one.
them? No, you had to. You had to have a ring.
Listen, I don't remember.
Is
Maybe.
that the envelope? Orange black.
Yeah,
Mm,
we had a ring.
I'm not denying it. I just don't remember it.
And they even have like now you can still order your ring if you lost a ring or whatever. They have it like
I'm fine.
The
I never
from
went.
the defunct organization. I can get that ring now.
some people love
It
their
might be
rings still.
discounted.
But it just felt like it was like as much
50%
as like we want as many people to have. That's how it felt. That's not ever again. A lot of these things weren't said
No,
from
explicitly.
right, but it was definitely a yeah. And so like I mean I even remember, you know, we talk about like you can leave anytime you want, but then they would tell stories about how you're honoring God if this one guy his parent passed away and they like he went to the honor council and uh by the end of the honor council he realized that it would be more honoring to stay in the honor academy than to spend that time. And so
At
you're
his
there
mom's funeral.
yeah, like
Okay.
and so
That's so twisted.
that's what I mean.
That's
Like,
twisted.
that's what I'm saying is you're told you can go at any time,
But you're
but
sin
but
turning.
but
if
then
you
you're
do.
talking about how honorable it is if you stay even in a really
Right.
really hard time. Like, so it is kind of like a mind battle there where you're just like, I don't want to be seen or be discredited or feel like I'm less valuable
I don't
because
want to dishonor God. Like you're
Right,
taught,
yeah,
like,
right.
you're
Yeah,
taught like
all of those things.
this, and so that's the part about this I struggle with is like it is a manipulation tactic,
Mhm.
whether it was intentional or not. We have
Right.
to recognize that. And here's the thing, like what I would love to see. I do believe there needs to be some accountability in that from the leadership, and we haven't seen any publicly.
Right.
I believe personally, and even exampled in scripture, the level of which, what does that say?
No ringy, no dingy.
Oh,
Do you
remember
remember
that?
that?
yeah.
That's what she wrote down. She put no ringy.
It's
Dot
the
dot
one
dot.
big thing that I remember, and I was like, huh,
When we went to extreme camps,
Yeah.
she talked about no ringy, no dingy.
purity, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight up.
So what was I saying, Carly?
She ain't.
Look, no ringing.
I'm
If you get
recognizing-
nothing else from this podcast,
Just get that.
or don't get
Don't
that.
get that. I don't
Um,
know. Anyways, you're talking about
the
recognizing.
the level at which a leader has authority and influence
And
is,
accountability.
and it is the level of which that repentance needs to be made public.
Yeah.
And
Your
s-
reach and all that.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
extent of your reach needs to be the extent of your repentance and repair. How do I think, like, where did I come to that conclusion with? I remember reading this book, or this excerpt from this book that talked about like a king is responsible to repair relationship, or a king is responsible to repair damage done in a community because he's the highest level of authority. He has the highest level of accountability and responsibility to hold repair. And I was like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. In the scriptures, we read about the sin of Peter, right? Like Paul just puts him on blast. He's like, hey, you're treating non-Jewish Christians like crap around Jewish Christians. We're all equal here. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
And we see the calling out of Peter's sin publicly. And what is Peter's influence? Every Christian who will ever read the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also see Peter's repentance in the Bible, because that is appropriate to the level of reach that Peter has, right?
That's why I have a really hard time with the fact that I'm appreciative of Ron Luce and how he's given up his life for reaching our generation.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative. I don't want to diminish the fact that he has done so much and reached so many people. But it really does not sit well with me that he's rebranding and relaunching this as the Surge.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Like the energy drink thing from the night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, number one, there's already a huge Christian event called Life Surge. So that feels a little
Did you get the
icky to
email
me.
from him
Yeah.
about
I
to
didn't even
raise
know
funds. He reached out to alumni to raise funds to rebrand and relaunch.
Wow.
Well, no wonder he's upset about the stinking. This documentary is going to block him.
I agree with you.
It doesn't sit right,
No.
and it doesn't
Right.
sit well for me because there has not been that public. Yeah, we went bankrupt. I'm sorry. Nothing from
Or
that
even
camp.
just, I know that there are people there.
So the communication you did get, though, was
Give me money so I can do it again.
Ooh,
So that didn't sit.
rough.
You heard it here,
Ron
folks, from
Luce.
Carly Cerna.
Ron Luce, repent, buddy. Come on,
Listen,
man.
I would say too that it's
That's bad.
I mean there are people also within the leadership, like on staff, that was treated poorly.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
they
By
have
him.
talked about those things. And so while I'm sure maybe there has been reconciliation, it still happened, and it is hard for people to hear that did happen. And so I guess if you're going to do something like that, you might want to start with that of repenting. and also, what are the fail safes, or what is the accountability that you're going to go move
So that doesn't happen.
so it doesn't happen
Yeah.
again?
What is the
So
change
what are
in
the
this one?
boundaries? The growth plan. I have books. Just
One note on
kidding.
that. They tried giving me a growth plan after they kicked me out.
Stop it. Why? To what purpose?
Maybe they should have kept you and shown you how to grow differently.
I don't know.
Maybe they should have grown
Look.
differently.
I don't know. But those are our like little big. They're not little. They're our,
So
We never witnessed this spiritual abuse or this abuse of power firsthand because we were really far down. At least I didn't.
Correct.
We were
Right.
really,
That's
really
absolutely
far
right.
down the
Right.
line.
You're-
That we
you make
never.
a
The
good
closer
point.
you are to leadership, the
More
you're
you
going
see
to
it.
experience
So that's
that.
why I'm really curious to see who is going to be speaking in this
Right.
documentary, how far up they were in leadership, how long they were there for.
But you brought up a good point the other day when we were talking about it. Like,
Sorry, I'm cracking my neck. Continue. Did you think I was like?
yeah, what do
Sorry.
you have to say?
do tell.
Blaze, did you say like he was defending some of that?
I read an article where they interviewed him about this documentary. Blaze was a person on
He was my
leadership
boss. I loved him a lot. Still do.
who I have tons of respect for.
Mm-hmm.
He did a seminar about how to be still before the Lord, and it changed my life.
He was also part of the IHOP stuff.
Yeah, he
with
went through a lot.
Lynn.
So he
Yeah.
knows what
Mhm.
abuse feels
Oh yeah,
like.
yeah.
And he made a statement or an interview kind of falling along the lines where we're at. Like, I
Mhm.
don't doubt those things happen. I don't want to discredit those experiences,
Right.
but I didn't see it. At least that's what my interpretation of that interview was.
Interesting.
So the fact that someone higher up in leadership could
I think
stand
he was there
by
for
it.
8 years.
He was
Yeah,
there
he
for,
was there for
he
a
was
long time.
teaching classes and he was
Mhm.
on staff and stuff, but also like he wasn't like directly reporting to Ron Luce.
No.
So again, like that spiritual component, that is definitely the closer you get to the top of that
The
totem
uglier
pole,
it
the
gets.
uglier it's
Yeah,
gonna
and
get.
I will say, like, Blaze was someone that during that time I really trusted and really loved, and he was my boss in the ATF call center, and so I was really, really grateful for him, and he's just so shout out to you. Like, I really have a lot of respect for him. Um, might not agree with things, but hey, you can still disagree and respect each other and all the
Yeah.
good
Our
stuff.
church
But
now is
Mhm.
full of people that pretty much don't agree with each other on so many things.
yeah, so I mean, that's
And it's one of my favorite
yeah,
things
The
about that.
simplicity of the gospel.
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
I
I
mean,
think, like, going back to that too, like, I just want to encourage you, Carly, because you're an awesome mom,
that is for sure.
and you, I think that you are doing things, at least from, I don't see everything obviously, but from my perspective, from where I sit, like, I feel like you are living in the will of God, and that you're getting closer to Him. You think critically, you are teaching your children, and you're taking care of your children, and like with all the medical stuff that has gone on with your youngest daughter and stuff, I see you sacrifice for
I was gonna
her,
say that's the word right there.
and
Mhm.
like your character now is closer to Jesus, like, than when I first met you.
Yeah, it's because I had to be broken first.
Right. And so, like,
And the HA didn't do that. Like,
right.
Yeah.
experiences.
That's
So,
a
and
yes.
so that-
yes.
that's that is
Yep.
exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to, like, well, if the purpose was character development, what did they do?
Right.
And so, like, Jesus had to teach you that stuff.
Yeah.
And he did. And
Mhm.
like, I'm proud to call you my friend. I see just the heart that you have for your kids, and the way that you treat people, the way that you love people is awesome. So you are an example of Christ. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. That's not that I need validation, but it's always nice to get encouragement. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm.
well, it is. We have been talking for over 2 hours.
Yikes.
I don't know
I
how
think we
much
could keep going
accomplished,
too. Like that's what's
Mhm.
so wild about this.
but we gotta
you know, 'cause
Do we
got
want to
some-
end it with a couple fun stories from
Yeah.
anything?
I
Like
mean,
anything? Haha.
I have
From the
a
HA.
Okay, I have one funny story about you.
okay.
So my roommate Tim, I might bleep his name out. I don't know if he wants to be talked about on a podcast for our tens of followers. But like, you know how you had to do like push-ups in groups of 3? Like,
Oh, on the 3 count.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's like,
A 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that like 3 meant 1.
And
Yep.
so we were doing push-ups, and I think, what's it called? Scoliosis. He had scoliosis. And so his push-ups looked a little wonky. And the facilitator came up, and they're like,
Like yelling
I don't
at
know
him?
if it's his numbers, like, 819, boy, do you know how to do push-ups? And he looks at him, he goes, I have double scoliosis in my back. And the facilitator went from like hard butt military. He's like, you're doing great, son. Like, it was so funny to watch.
I remember I have 2 funny ones. One was when we had to test out for the LTE, for the mountain LTE.
Oh.
And so we would always start in the parking lot. You know how parking lots have those like curbs that come out like little medians
Mhm.
and stuff. And so you're out there at 5 in the morning and it's dark. And we have everyone out there lined up. So what, like probably over 200 people,
Way
way more than that. I'm probably downplaying that. Just lined up waiting for the whistle for everyone to start running.
I think I
And
remember the story.
I'm next to Timmy. She's amazing. And I'm next to Emmy. And we're like running. And I can kind of see ahead because I'm not a fast runner. And we're all like, we're just going to make this, we're going to test out, try to beat the thing, whatever. And I kind of see ahead of me that people are like like disappearing. Like I'm like that whole line of people fell. Whole line of people fell. And I'm kind of like watching and I'm like, hey, hey, Emmy. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, how come everybody's dropping like, and I went down. and, and then, and then I'm like on the ground and I see Timmy just twirl around my legs and fall on top of me. And then I see Emmy just fall. And I don't think Becca was there. I'd have to, and we're just, so we hit one of those curbs.
Yeah.
So, cause it was such a tight space that no one could see below the curb. So we're like running, we're like, everyone just tripped right there.
It's like a domino effect.
Oh my gosh, it was
Oh my
hilarious. And they're getting up and I like already decided I'm not going to this mountain. And they're like, come on, Coley, you can do it. I'm like, go without me. You can do it. I had lost 15 minutes. Like, cause you had to run a certain amount in order to, a certain time. And then the other one was we had a tire swing outside of the dorm outside of Green Hall. And again, not a tiny person, and neither was my friend. Like we were getting tiny because we were at the
On
HA.
angle at 4:30 every morning.
But we went on the tire swing together, and it said like steadfast on the tire swing, and we're like swinging, we're like giggling like girls, and we're plus size girlies, and we're just swinging back, and we're like ha, and then in the upswing, the rope snapped. So it's a big tire. It's like a tractor tire swing. And I like ninja'd off this thing. Like I'm like, we're flying in the air. And when the when the wheel, like the tire falls, I like ninja off of it. But I look and I'm like, Timmy? Where are you? I'm like, where's Timmy? I'm like looking everywhere for Timmy, and she is laying like a starfish, and the tire is on top of her, and she's like, Coley, Cole, I'm under here. And I was like, Timmy, and I can't lift the tire. And I also laughed so hard I peed my pants. So I'm like trying to lift this tire so she can like get out of it. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to call someone over here, but I have wet pants. So I'm like, Timmy, I gotta go. So
Bye.
I left her and went and took a shower. I was like, we gotta go. This is embarrassing. So those are my fun. I'm sure
Timmy's
there's so
still
many
there.
more.
Honestly, most of my funny stories have to do with my same roommate, Tim.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I love Timmy.
Like,
she was great. Oh,
Not-
she was
no,
so
no, no.
funny.
We're talking about
Multiple
different.
cons.
You're talking about Timmy,
My Tim,
a
Lucy,
girl.
Tolucci.
My roommate Tim,
Uh-huh.
when I was on the B shift,
Yeah.
he worked in the mailroom,
Yeah, he was funny.
and he was like addicted to anime.
Yeah, he loved it.
And everybody left for Thanksgiving, and Tim and I sat in our room and we watched a whole 3 anime series. That was all we did.
Are you allowed? Were you allowed to?
I don't know, but nobody
you
was
did.
there.
We made
I watched
up songs
Death Note and like
because everyone left for the mountain, and the people that didn't qualify just stayed in their dorm. So it was like really cool because it was just like 3 people in your
when, like,
room.
most of the people were gone for Thanksgiving, so they just put out boxes of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the kitchen.
That was another thing too. People probably don't know is that you have a not very big room and 6 people living in. Remember, it was 1, 2, 3, 2 triple bunks in 1, 2, 3. So 6 girls in one,
Or guys.
or guys, yeah, not in a very big room.
It
So you had to learn how to.
It was wild.
If you had
It
5
was so
girls, you were
smelly.
using that one bunk for storage. Like
Oh,
you
yeah,
just
we
knew
did.
how to.
That
yeah.
was all the snack bin was an empty.
I loved
box.
my girls, but I also really loved the girls across the hall from me, and I probably spent more time with that group of girls
I
than I
spent
did
all my time with you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like you. She was my one person that I felt comfortable with there, and then she was gone.
Well, I also we had
Sorry.
Josh.
Martin.
No, that's
That was his name. There's 2 Josh Martins.
his name was Josh Martin. Are you sure?
Yep, I can check it. We're gonna look you up, Josh.
One of
He
my
had a
roommates
12-string
and I
Taylor.
spent 45 minutes, probably more, trying to get You know those hubcaps that look like they're bolts, but they're plastic and they go
Oh,
over
yeah.
the.
Oh yeah.
The locks.
Trying to unscrew those.
What?
She was the only one in our room with a car, so we had to fix her tire so we could go to Walmart. And we couldn't figure it out. And then, thank God, grounds maintenance came by and was like, "Hey, look, that's plastic."
Oh
Thanks.
gosh.
Another time, or another thing that was super funny was the
You can do it.
you were trying to show me that you could play softball. Like, and I would pitch like this, and you had like the
and I
little box
pitched
of
the
goldfish crackers.
and I hit you right in
square
the
in the junk.
jewels. That was I didn't.
in the call center.
I mean, that was a good pitch.
yeah, it was a
But I
strike
don't think you
right down the gut.
expected me to.
Nope, I
We had a team meeting for campus security, and it was 2 guys and 2 girls, and we were all equally weird.
Collins, continue.
That's
Josh
all.
Collins. Sorry.
And we were talking about personal goals because our team leader wanted us to discuss it. And one of them, bless his heart, mentioned working on his flatulence issue like in our team meeting. And I'm like,
What?
okay, I'll pray for you. Like,
Lord, hope everything comes out all right. Well, I was a team lead on our call center team,
Yeah.
and honestly, I had no business being a leader.
No, you were very good. You
None
got a
of
lot
us
of commits.
did. I was in charge of a group of teenagers in the Panamanian jungle
What?
by myself. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like one of the team leads, and I'm like trying to rally the troops, and like I think about the culture of that was so weird. Like if you got a group of people to commit, like based on if there was like 15 people, you would ring this Chinese gong once. If there was 35, you'd ring it twice, and everybody'd freak out. So I like rang the gong a ton because
Yeah, because Joe was always getting commits. I didn't even know how to talk to people in a convent.
She didn't even know what a convent was.
I know. I was like, "Hi, can I talk to your youth pastor?" She's like, "This is a convent." I'm like, "Uh-huh. Can I talk to your youth pastor?"
She's
She's
like,
like,
"No, this
"It's
is
a
a
convent." I'm
convent.
like, "I know. Where's your youth pastor?"
She goes, well, then can you
Because you're like,
can you
told to,
put
like,
me in charge of the people who are in charge of the youth?
Yeah, like I'm like trying because
Give
they're
me a
like
touch.
they're telling that's sales. You know, you're like a great story, bud, but where's your
Don't take
youth
no.
pastor?
She
Don't
goes-
take no for an answer.
So the lady
gotta
just
keep
hangs up on her and
rebuttaling.
she goes, rude. And she's like, she just kept telling me it was a convent. And I'm like, well, do you know what a convent is? And she's like, some sort of church. I'm like, no, it's a nun factory.
I was like, hey man, I just want to talk to the youth pastor.
Yo, put me in touch. Remember Josh Collins? He goes, the one time we're in the call center, he goes, oh shoot, I'm about to leave a voicemail. What do I say? And I'm like, just read the script, man. And he goes, we want to set your kids on fire. And he like hard swallows. He goes, we want to set your kids on fire.
For
For the Lord.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Nicole, so the moment that I like fell in love with Nicole,
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving a voicemail for a youth pastor, and Nicole puts her headset, like her hair in her headset, and she whips
I like
it up,
made it go like
and she
spiky.
does this thing where she like
This
dries
hugs
her
her
teeth,
lip.
and she goes like this, and she looks at me with
Mhm.
that face. If you're watching on YouTube, she looks at me with that face, and she goes, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, this is Joe calling with Acquire the Fire. And we're just curious to
And I,
see
like,
it." And I
make him
I just
laugh.
bust up laughing. I laugh so hard. I hang up and I call back and I'm like, "I'm sorry, that was super unprofessional. I have no excuse for that. Please call me at this. We'd still love to get your teens on." So I was
Nice.
like, "That's the one."
Oh my gosh.
It was that
Hilarious.
face.
Didn't take much.
She still looks at me with that face sometimes.
It's true, I do. Carly knew exactly what I.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it many
The
times.
lip.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, sweet memories. I know. I got to see what
I know-
Becca.
Becca Long, remember we'd go to her house.
I owe her $50 for taking me to the airport. By the way, so I should probably send her
Jeepers.
that.
That is with interest.
With interest. That's gonna be a good one.
Remember she was driving, she had a rental car and her car is a stick shift, and we're like in a stoplight and she puts it into neutral because she's trying to shift her manual rental car.
I went back to the HA the year after I graduated because I helped my friend Brooklyn leave and then go to Florida.
I remember Brooklyn.
Yeah, love her.
She's married to Davi.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Same Brooklyn?
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
But
I
we
love
also went
Debbie.
to extreme camps that year after I got back from being an intern. And Kevin and Andy were there. And because I was an intern, like I knew the staff because most of them had been there the year we were there. And so we were at the lake on the blob, and you're only supposed to do one person at a time. But because they knew me, I sent Andy and Kevin both out at the same time. We launched tiny little Nick Anderson
Oh no.
so far. We shouldn't have done it, but it was hilarious. It was really cool.
When I
Yeah.
was 400 pounds, we did that youth retreat at Sylvan Lake when they had a blob.
Yeah, Joe. They wanted Joe to
I
launch
launched.
every
I've
kid.
lost 5 pounds just walking up the ladder. I blobbed everybody.
I never went on those things. I don't like those
I
kind
did
of
it
things.
one time at Spencer Lake.
Spencer Lake's what I meant to say.
Yeah. And Matt knew. So this is the summer we started dating, but it was like we weren't dating at the time. And Matt was at the beach and he knew I liked him. And you know, when you ride at the skate park as a girl, you don't cry. Like you get hurt, you don't cry. It's just something that you just don't do. Well, we were at the beach. I was going on the blob. Never done it before. This guy shoots me up. I'm flying and I like face plant into the water. And it hurt so bad. The guy in the canoe, the lifeguard, comes over there and paddles and it's like, "Are you okay?" And I look over to see if Matt saw it. And I'm like, "Yeah." And I turn around. I'm like, "Oh my God." It hurt so bad. I wanted to cry so bad.
I blobbed Amy
Never did it again.
Viola Johnson
Mm-hmm.
when she was in high school. This was at Sylvan Lake. I blobbed her. She did 2.5 backflips, landed on her face,
Yeah.
and it dislodged her contacts out of her eyes. I
Yeah.
felt horrible.
I
And then
don't
I
care
blobbed
to
the
ever do
kids
it.
right after.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
That's it, folks.
I don't think we got through a lot of our talking points, but
No, I think we did.
Yeah.
If you look
I
at all
think
her
we got
notes,
all
we
of
pretty
them.
much did it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
It's usually how we do
We'll
it.
circle back.
Yeah, we always circle
we
back.
did it.
Yeah.
Joe, do you
Well,
want to pray?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Lord, we know that this can be touchy for people. The documentary coming out, there's already sides and factions being made for or against, and nobody even knows what the contents of this are going to be. But Lord, I would just ask that you're a God of peace, and so would you just slow people down and bring your peace,
Mm-hmm.
not discrediting people or hushing people up, but truly, God, bring peace.
Mm-hmm.
I pray for anybody who would have legitimately been a victim of this ministry and the damage that big organizations can do to people. And I ask that you just be with them. And I know that there are people who are really, really nervous for this documentary to come out because they're afraid that it's going to trigger them. And so our hearts are with them. We just ask, Lord, would you just cover them with your grace and your love. And Lord, for us, I'm still dealing with the anxiety of all this and trying to figure out how I feel and how to communicate what I'm feeling. And Lord, I need your peace too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I thank you that it says that you are our Prince of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we ask for, Lord, peace that passes understanding. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Goodbye.
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 Thanks for listening to Real as Possible. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the laughs with someone who needs it. See you next time.